Hi guys and welcome. Today I thought we'd make some loaded pocket flips. I'm actually doing this for a junk journal monthly swap on a Facebook group that I'm in. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you how they've made. So they've got 3 pockets at the front and there's a couple of things you can do inside which I'll show you. But this one's actually got an accordion journaling spot in there just with some coffee dyed paper. All right, let's get into it. And you can make these any size that suits the journal that you're making. But these ones we're going to cut a piece of cardstock or thick paper, 9 by 5, so 9 inches, which is the height. So if you've got a smaller journal, then you would go a little bit shorter. And then 5 inches wide. And if you want the folds a little bit thicker, then of course you can go thicker. But these ones are quite a streamlined width. And then half of the 5 is 2.5 inches that we score down the middle, and then that will fold over. Now I like to round my corners, but you don't have to, but I just round the top one because we're putting pockets down the bottom there. All right, I shall keep that out because we've got a bit more cutting to do yet. And then we choose some matching or decorative papers for the pockets. So I'm going to have a bit of a flick through. This one's nice. So we cut it at the 2.5 width. So all your pockets are the same width, they're 2.5. And then we want to decide how tall we want our pockets. I'm actually going to cut another strip. Do it on this nice paper. And then just decide how far up you want your pockets. So we might cut at that line, and I'll tell you what width that is. That's basically 6 inches. Remembering the length is 9, so you can go up if you want to, but you want some room for things to hang out of there. Now I'm just going to cut this down 2 inches from that 6, which will be 4. And we're going to be inking these guys. And the front one I'm going to do in a fairly plain color because we're going to put something over the top of it. So 2.5, and then we might do it 2 inches. So that's your 1, 2, 3 pockets. Got another one already cut out here. I'm going to be doing two at once. That's already not quite 6, so I might do that one at 4. That's the second pocket. Once you've got your strips cut at your 2.5, they're quite easy because you only have to then cut them to what you want them cut at. Not quite long enough. This is a good way to use up your scraps too, guys. Because as we all know, our scraps can get away on us. Actually, the colour might match 2.5. And what were we going? We're going 6 on that one because that's the back one. Now that one's fairly plain, so I might swap that one out. And sometimes you just need to play around with it a little bit to get it the way you like. Beautiful. All right, lovely. All right, so let's just pop this away for a minute. Now we're just going to put a little notch out in our pockets. It'll just define them a little bit. I'm just going to use a 1-inch punch, and I'm just going to eyeball it and get the center as best you can. Some people layer the 3 up and then do the 1 punch. Some punches don't like it like that, and you can actually damage your punches. So you know, we pay a fair bit of money for our punches. We don't necessarily want to jam them or break any of the mechanisms inside. If you're only doing it in relatively thin paper, then of course you can look to do that. But this one here is a Studio 49, and it's really thick. Lovely. Now we're going to quickly ink. The ink I'm using today is frayed burlap. And I like this one. I use it and walnut stain a lot, but I like this one because you can go a little tad darker. It's not that dark when you put it on lightly like that, but when you go over it, you get like a deeper color. And it's good to, if you need to define your edges. And if you're working on a fairly dark cardstock like this one. This one's a Stamperia. It's just beautiful. It's up to you as to how grungy you like it. I think with that type of weathered wood background, you can afford to be a little bit heavy-handed on the ink, like that. Now, if that's too bright, you can either grunge up the middle of it, or you can put a script stamp over it, which I did do in this one, as you can see, but I'm not going to in this one. I actually like the lighter effect there. Now we'll ink up this one. Now this one's fairly plain, so I am going to put a little bit of script on the top of this one. So I'll just do that quickly. So just in patches. And then you can do the edges a little bit darker like that. Now the pockets. This is beautiful paper. I think it's a Bo Bunny paper from memory. And I have quite a fair bit of it because I really liked it when I bought it. And when you're purchasing single pages, you can get extra, whereas in a pack, you usually only get 2 pages of the one design. So we'll pop our inking off to the side. And then we'll glue these down. With projects like this, it's always good to have, you know, some ephemera on hand, like tickets and labels and things like that, because when you load up the pockets, you can just reach for your stash and load the pockets up, whereas if you had to make everything by scratch, it would take you forever. So sometimes I just sit down for a day and just make a heap of ephemera of all different types just to have in your stash. And I recently purchased some Tracy Fox labels, and I printed out a heap of those and cut them out. So I've got those in my stash as well. So they were on a digital download. So when you purchase, you do a one-time purchase, and then it's yours to print and use. So you can print it as many times as you like. So if there's a couple of things in there in particular that's your favorite and you know you'll use time and time again, well, you know that you can access it at any time by printing it. And I printed majority of mine on a lightweight cardstock. So one that's thick enough to have a bit of body, but also one that was thin enough for my printer. I think from memory it was a 210 GSM weight. So it's quite a good weight. And I work with that a lot because I prefer to cut out, when you're cutting out, cut out on cardstock as opposed to paper. Especially if you're doing intricate little things. Really hard to cut out if they're just on paper. But if paper's all you got and it's all your printer likes, then definitely you could print it out and then glue it to cardstock and then cut it out. Just trying to think. I did ink that, but its side just needs a bit more. Just want to define that edge a little bit more because it's pattern paper on top of pattern paper. Just see how that's just highlighted it a little bit. So if you forget to ink, or if you put your project together and you think, oh, I should have inked it, then as you've seen before, just tuck something in down in the pocket so it protects the back layer. All right, beautiful. So this one we're going to do the accordion coffee dye paper on, and the other one we're going to do something a little bit different, which I'll show you. So just with this, the first fold will be basically the width, a little bit under the width of your flip. So the best way is to measure it on the actual flip itself. So fold it that way, then I turn it, and then I fold it so the fold is on the edge of the paper here. Then you turn it over again and you fold it again. Now this is an A4 piece of paper, which is coffee dyed on a standard printing piece of paper, office paper. Then I just check to make sure it's not too wide, which it's not. And then just on the strip here, you would just put a bead of glue or a little bit of glue just to secure that one tab down. Now before you glue it in, just make sure that the edge of your page is on the outside, because you're going to be pulling it out. So if you pulled it the other side, you'd have to open the pocket right up and reach in, and it wouldn't have the same effect. So just hold your flap up there and just get it as close as possible. So now when you open it up, you just get your page. There you go, you've got a journaling spot front and back. All right, so now the fun part, we're going to load our pockets. Actually, this one up the top, I might put a butterfly. So let's do this one first. I've pulled out some ephemera in readiness, just so you didn't see me rummaging through containers and containers. We may not use it all, but let's just see how we go. Now, I'm not going to ink these that I put in. You can, of course, ink them later, but because I am sticking the butterfly down, I am going to ink the edge of that one. But all the ephemera I'm not going to ink today. I just thought the person receiving this may not like inking. So if they want to use it in their projects, then they can definitely just use it. Now I might do that one a little bit darker too. Not that you really see the pockets after you've loaded them, but okay, so let's have a look through. Now I want to put something down the bottom here. Actually, I like this, and because I'm sticking this one down, I will ink it as well. And as you can see, it really doesn't take long to ink something. I think the secret is, because you're distressing it, you're aging it, is to not be too pedantic about it. It's not supposed to look the same or neat and tidy. All right, now let's load up our pockets. It's easy to get the first few in, and then you sort of just keep adding from there. Now, I had a tag. I'm going to ink the tag because it's really light. And this is just a tag I made off patterned paper, cardstock. I like to have a lot of tags, different sizes, cut in my stash, because you just never know when you're going to need them or grab, you know, you just grab for them. I'm going to pull that one out a little bit, and you need to make sure that they are not as wide as your pockets. Try and get that one fair way in, because I don't want to cover up the butterfly too much. These here, they're just a frame stamped on pattern paper. I have got a video on that, making your own ephemera, so I will put the link down below. And this one's really light too. I just want to define the edge a little bit. Let's stick him in there. And you can put as many things in here as will fit. So that's number one. Now with the prototype, as I said I'll show you, I did something a little bit different with that one. Inside I've just got some little vellum envelopes, and I've just put some extra labels, tags, ephemera, is these are going out to a monthly Facebook group swap. So we sort of pick what we want to do. This event that I went in was the loaded flips, and and down the bottom, this one here, I just recently purchased some hydrangea flowers, and I purchased all different colors. They're just absolutely beautiful, and I have a ton of them because I got one stem of each, which comes in a head of flowers like this. So I'm sharing the love out in these swaps. So that's just another idea, as opposed to having the pull out journaling spot. You could also have a little notebook in there. You could have just more pockets in there as well. So much more you can do. Now this one, let's load this one up. This one I did a little bit different. I put more tickets and ephemera in it. Some made, some printed. Some scrap paper there. Okay, so you can load it up with photos. These are handmade, just stamped on pattern paper. A little traveller notebook. Tuck it up there as well. This one's a little passport, and it's done on that beautiful bow bunny paper. Should put him down the bottom. So you can really just stick anything in here, and if you made the pockets wider, you could put bigger stuff in there as well. So we were told the sizes to make ours, which I think is a really fun size, because you could even have that as a page, like a page edge, and have your pockets on down the front. You know, that would be a really cool way to use it as well. Some measuring tape. That one there I use so much. I will show you the stamp if I can locate it in my mess. It is a darkroom door background stamp. I use it so much because you stamp it and then you just cut the strips as to what you want. So there's 3 different looks on whatever project you're doing, or you might just want it as a page background. Actually, I might stick a butterfly on that one. I know you won't see it tucked in there, but when you pull it out, you'll use it on another project. as well. So they're just stamped on pattern paper. Great way to use your scraps up. And then we're just putting in all different ephemera. Now we want something down here. Now you could have a word or a saying down there, but I actually and you can afford to fiddle a little bit here. Do like that, or no, let's just go with that one. It's sort of the color of it folds into the background where we can still highlight the butterfly is my way of thinking. There you go, guys. I think you can load it with whatever you want, really. You can put all photos in there, all your tags, all your labels. Just a great bit of fun, really. And obviously definitely will use it in your journals. If you've made one ahead of time and hadn't put the paper in the middle there, and you're working on a smaller journal, then you could quite easily cut the top off, re-round the corner, and you've still got your 3 pockets there. But look, have a go with it. A lot of fun, great way to play around with your ephemera as well to see what looks good, and it's handy there to have that in the front of a journal and then just pull it out as you work through your journal. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you on the next video. Hit the notification button and it will notify you once I load another one. Thanks, guys, and have a great day. Bye.